Right. Well, our focus is really on, continuing to improve as a team. I was really pleased with the way our guys competed up at Kentucky. Didn't always execute perfectly, and you want to get the kind of effort, the toughness, the competitive spirit, relentless competitive attitude that you want in your team so that you can get better, but you also got to focus on having the discipline to execute and do the little things correctly, and those things are correctable, but those certainly are things that we need to get better at.
First up, we have Andrew Gribble of AL.com.
Hey, Nick, I'm just wondering what you've seen from Ryan Kelly in practice this week, and if he's in position to maybe contribute this weekend.
Well, he's been able to practice. He hadn't had any issues or problems. We're kind of going day by day with him. My sense of it is he'll be available to play in a game if he doesn't have a setback, and we're hopeful that we can get through practice without that happening. Now, is he ready to go out there and play 70 plays in a game? I'm not sure of that. So, we're just going to have to take it day by day.
Next is Nate Allen of Nate Allen Sports.
If you're playing a team you beat 52-0 last year, and they just got waxed by South Carolina, just how hard is it to get your players to take Arkansas seriously this week?
Well, I think we have a lot of respect for Arkansas as a team. I mean, they've run the ball for 250 yards on everybody that they've played. They actually ran it really well against South Carolina last week. They just turned it over a couple times, and it's really what happened in last year's game is going to have nothing to do with the outcome of this game, and what happened last week is going to have nothing to do with the outcome of this game. And our focus as a team needs to be on what we need to do to play our best football, because I don't think we played our best game yet. And if we're really going to be a good team, that's what we need to be continuing to work on. But we have every respect for Arkansas. They've got a very good running game. They're very capable of playing well on defense. So, I think our players need to be ready. I know how physical and tough this game will be.
Next is Todd Levo of Sports Radio 810.
Hey, Coach, I know you guys have already battled a couple of times these past couple of years with A&M, and you faced Missouri last year. Are you surprised at all with how well these schools have come into the SEC? Missouri's on top of the East right now, and A&M has obviously shown themselves very well. Are you surprised with how well they've kind of acclimated to the SEC so quickly?
No, not really. I think both have been historically good programs, and both have won and done reasonably well, wherever they came from. So, we thought Missouri has had a very good team. Last year they lost their quarterback, and this year they've lost their quarterback. So that's been a difficult thing with them. But with them, they obviously are one of the best teams in our league, and A&M has a fantastic player in Johnny Manziel, and they're certainly one of the better teams in our league as well.
I think a lot of people up in these parts are surprised with maybe how well Missouri has done defensively. They've gotten several Player of the Week honors in the SEC, and I think it's one of the things that people were concerned about heading into the SEC. Has that surprised you with some of the strength that Tigers have shown on defense?
Well, I don't watch them all that much since we don't play them, and the only time I saw them was a little bit in a game where they were playing Georgia last week. But, they play very well. They play hard. They're physical. I know Georgia's got a lot of issues with injuries right now, especially to explosive players on offense, whether it's running back or receivers. But they played extremely well, and they certainly played well last week, and it's no surprise to me. I thought they were pretty good on defense last year. They had some pretty good players, and so it's not really a surprise to me.
Next is Tom Murphy, the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Nick, you mentioned earlier that you guys haven't played your best yet. I'm wondering how much maybe turnover margin factors into that. You're +1, but how important you consider that stat?
I think it's one of the most important stats, in winning and losing. And, we haven't gotten a lot of turnovers defensively, which, we certainly need to improve on. And, we're obviously not pleased with the fact that we turned the ball over a couple times in our last game, which has been a little bit uncharacteristic for our backs, but, certainly something that we need to improve on and not let it become, something that happens on any kind of a consistent basis in the future. So I think turnover margin is a huge deal. I think we need to get more, and I think we need to take better care of the ball.
You've gone undefeated against Arkansas since your return to the league. Just, do you have any thoughts just about the series in general? And maybe the only shot they had at you maybe was the 07 game and the 10 game. Any thoughts on those?
No, I'm really kind of thinking about what's going to happen in the future, not what happened in 5 years ago or whenever you're talking about. But we have a tremendous amount of respect for Arkansas. I don't know if it goes back to my LSU days when we had some really, really tough games with them and when Houston Nutt was there and all that. But I have a tremendous amount of respect for their players, their program, their capabilities and quality that they can play with. And I think the coaches that are there now, this is one of the most physically tough teams that we've played in terms of how they run the ball, how they control the line of scrimmage, and so this is going to be a very, very challenging game for us. And I'm certainly very concerned about our players being able to adapt and adjust to the kind of game it's going to be.
Okay, thanks, Nick.
Next is Brett Martell, the AP.
Good morning, Coach. Also on SEC expansion, I heard your earlier answer, and it sounds like you feel like at this point it's been good for the quality of football on the field. I think everybody understood the TV market part of it, but I'm wondering if you've noticed any certain benefits from expansion and whether there are any lingering concerns.
No, I guess I'm a coach, and I worry about coaching our team and doing what we need to do and having every confidence in our commissioner and the people who run our league, our athletic directors, to make good choices and decisions about what's in the best long-term interest for the SEC and the schools and the teams that we bring in. And I think it made our league better. I think we have the one issue that everybody needs to be resolved probably for the future is when you increase the league, how does it affect scheduling in the future, and how do we resolve that issue? I would say that is the biggest issue we have facing us relative to what we have to do moving forward.